everybody, welcome to the Outdoor Sports Club channel. I'm Jake, and this, in case you didn't read the title of the video, is a vertical laptop stand. And we got new laptops at work, and I don't really like laptops, but I like them because I get an extra screen. So I've got two screens plus the laptop screen, and I'm mobile, but I'm not a big fan of laptop keyboards and whatnot. So and they tend to overheat, and like all the vents are on the bottom of this thing, and there's a bunch of stuff. So anyway, this, I wasn't going to do a video about it because it's sort of specific to the laptop I've got, and it's not super well built. It's not like it's high craftsmanship, but I thought, you know, it might be fun to show it anyway. And the laptop, as you can see, is kind of a small, it's a Dell. Not the Singer, but the computer company. But one of the things that was happening was the vents are all on the bottom. On most laptops there might be a little bit of venting on the side, and the idea is that you either push air in and force the hot air out the cracks, or you force the hot air out the cracks and it creates a vacuum and sucks air in, you force the air out the vents and it pulls air in, or the opposite. I don't know how I said that the first time, but so when this thing's sitting on the desk, it was just, the fans were going full blast, and it was really loud. And so, hey buddy, what's up? So at first I put I took bits of the carton that it came in, or the box that it came in, and I built these to sit on the bottom, and make sure, like, I made sure the vents weren't covered and that there was airflow. I mean, it was just sort of a hodgepodge thing to do, and that actually helped. It helped the airflow underneath the laptop, and helped it not be so loud. But one of my coworkers, he said, "Hey man, these laptops, they fold out all the way. They fold out 180 degrees so that they could be vertical." And I was looking for vertical stands and to buy, and I guess most people, when they think vertical stand, they think of putting it like this. So what they'll do is they'll hook up their laptop to their other screens, and then they'll close it and put it in a stand so that it's out of the way, and they'll just use a keyboard and a mouse in their other screens. I always use a different keyboard and a different mouse because I hate these keyboards. They're too small for my hands, and I hate these. You can like inadvertently do mouse clicks and move when you're typing. Move the cursor while you're typing, so I don't use these keyboards. They're too small and they don't really work right for me. And so I thought that you know what, I'll build a vertical stand. So what this is it's just some this is like a 1/2 inch, no, that's like a 3/4 inch by, I think it's supposed to be like a 1x6, so it winds up being like 3/4 by 5.5 or something like that. On the bottom I bought some 1x2 boards and a bunch of 3/8 inch square, I don't really know what you'd call these, but they're, you know, 3/8 inch squares. And this is, like I said, this is kind of shoddy craftsmanship, but what I thought was I could just put these squares like this on the 1x2s, and then set this thing an inch up off the bottom. And what that allows me to do is I've got what they call a docking station. It's really a hub, and the cords can come in like this, and the hub sits right here, and the laptop is sitting above the cords. And then I've got some space here to put like, I've got some pocket knives and USB drives and stuff that sit up here usually. The one thing I forgot was to I was going to cut down through here to make space for the cables that go on the sides. And I forgot that, so I had to drill holes and then use a chisel, and I was impatient at that point, so I just sort of smashed them out. I didn't do that correctly. You could do that a lot prettier. This is unnecessary, kind of, but it helped to bring these two pieces together and keep them from wobbling. Pretty much, except for 2 screws in the bottom. Except for those, everything is held in place by glue. And then you can kind of see, possibly right like here, I glued these in place and clamped them, and then I drilled holes, and there's probably a better way to do this, but I tend to use these long, like, toothpicks, kind of skewer things. I will drill a hole, put glue on there, and jab it down in the hole, and then use a chisel or a carving knife or something to sort of clean that up and then sand it off. So that seems to hold really, really well. This piece is also unnecessary, but I wasn't for sure how stiff the screen would be. So basically what I did is I built this, and it fit really well, really nicely. I used this piece to kind of bring the side pieces together and hold them in place, and it makes it actually a little bit tighter fit than what I wanted. But this goes down in there. This is where it gets kind of tight, and you got to walk it in because it'll get bound up on one side or the other. These down here help support it, and then this is unnecessary, but I just put this in the top for the fun of it. Okay, so basically what this does is it gets my laptop back against my wall of my desk, and I've got screens over here, and I've got room for my keyboard and mouse. I don't have this in the way. I've got a little bit of extra space where it would normally go. The hub sits right here, so it looks a little bit neater. And anyway, I've gotten a lot of good comments about it, and I think if it were made by a better craftsman, someone who's better at woodworking, it would look a lot better. And there are some things that I could do to improve the design. One thing that I should have mentioned, I split this right here on the top when I was drilling this out, and but I got that fixed. You can hardly tell now. But yeah, it does a pretty good job of allowing it keeps all the vents clear. I mean, you got to make sure that you keep the vents clear on the back. Because it stands up vertically, I think that sometimes the fans do kick on because the heat's not leaving. I don't know, it seems like the fan kicks on a little bit more than when I just had it sitting up on these things, but not much, and definitely it's not as bad as when it was sitting on the desk. So there's a lot better airflow, a lot more desk space. My screen's higher, which I like it higher. My other big screens that sit over here are higher. So it's a much more comfortable view, much more comfortable way of sitting at my desk. Anyway, if you wanted to build something like this, it wouldn't be that hard. If I can do it, pretty much anybody on earth could probably do it. You just have to get your dimensions from your laptop. You know, just kind of figure out how high up you want it, how high up you need to make this to grab the sides, figure out where your ports are and account for those, and make sure you don't cover your vents. And I think that's pretty much it. So it's not too hard. It took probably, I don't know, that's probably like at tops $15 in materials and maybe 2 hours of time. Probably a little bit more than 2 hours, but anyway, between measuring and fitting and cutting and gluing it all together and clamping it and leaving it and then coming back later to do some more work on it. So that's about it. Thanks for watching.